What's up, y'all? What's cracking? Sunday. Oh my gosh, I love Sundays. Sundays are usually supposed to be a rest day. My spirits was low key mad at me for not resting as much as I really should have this morning, but I have all day to rest after this, so I'm really excited. I wanted to share a little bit of what inspired the ritual that I just got finished doing. I was reading my little Jesus Always book this morning, and two scriptures came out to me that I felt like really needed to be shared, or Spirit was like, you might want to tell people about that one. Oh, I have my weapon, my pants, because uh, when the sun comes out, so do those little June bugs. I can't stand those things. But anyway, the first scripture is Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. I'm going to read it. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that is so easily entangles. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, like a great cloud of witnesses is our community. That's the people who surround us. We're surrounded by witnesses, right? Or just people who observe us. Let us throw off everything that hinders and sin that so easily entangles. So, a lot of people would probably interpret that as like, oh, let me stop having premarital sex, let me stop smoking weed, let me stop doing drugs. And I'm not saying that that isn't sin in a way, because sin is pretty much anything that keeps you from your divinity. I feel like if you forget how divine you are, that's sinful. Even working as hard as it is through this capitalistic society, I think worry, fear, um abandoning your dreams, I think all of that stuff is sin in a way. It keeps you from acting like how Spirit wants us to move and Spirit wants us to act, right? This is my favorite part. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Like, there is a plan that God has for us. There is a race set out for us. And that reminds me a lot of Nipsey, because the marathon, like that marathon low key never stops. And that's why I've even been very inspired to start running again, because it reminds me of perseverance. It reminds me of having that stamina. Like, I need that stamina to keep me going, because life is like a marathon, right? Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, Jesus is one of my like highest, most divine egoons, or just my ancestor, my watcher. Like, just because that man has so much faith, that man has so much strength to endure the things that he endured in the name of God. Like, that is one of the most inspiring things to me. I felt like throughout my childhood and throughout my life, I've endured such pain, and I really didn't understand why. I really didn't get why there was purpose in that type of adversity and that type of pain, especially being so young. But the next scripture is going to help expand on that. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame. It's like the cross was a symbol of shame and guilt. Like, they just put people up there because they wanted to like defile them, or like, they wanted people to feel shameful. They wanted people to feel like, oh God, like that God forsake them on that cross. Like, it was pretty much a tool for, I'm losing the word, but like I wanted to say like embarrassment, shame. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners. Consider Jesus was endured such opposition from people who threw shame on him, threw guilt on him, threw their fears on him, threw all this, all their limiting beliefs, all their negativity. They threw all that shit on Jesus's name. And Jesus said, like, he did not grow weary or lose heart. I feel like that was because Jesus knew that he was of God. Like, there is trouble, there's going to be trouble. But if we think about Jesus's nature, that he persevered and endured so much, that might help us endure whatever we're experiencing. This is not to minimize anyone's struggle, okay? Because I know that some things are unbearable. And I feel like there are times where we feel like what we're enduring is too much. But they do say that God gives his biggest battles to his strongest soldiers. And I've heard so much like, yeah, we don't want to be strong soldiers anymore. And I feel it. I feel it because I'm definitely feeling that sometimes. Again, there is a purpose for it, and it's to perfect our faith. Because sometimes we believe that we have to do all of this shit on our own strength, and I don't believe that we do. I know that we can call upon Jesus and the ancestors, our guides, and just our elevated ancestors to be able to endure this shit. Next scripture is 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18. Therefore, we do not lose heart, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we're being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. That one hella spoke to me. First of all, they seem like they're connected, and they're in two separate books. The Bible does that a lot. We don't lose heart when we call on God and when we call on Jesus. There have been so many things that have brought me down, like down to the floor. Should have taken me out, TBH, like should have took me straight out. But I've always not even used God, but yeah, like that is my biggest tool. Prayer and connecting with my ancestors are my biggest tool for survival. I would not be able to do everything that I did without God, without my connection to God, without my faith. And outwardly, we might be wasting away, but inwardly our faith is being renewed. We're being like diamonds. We're being burned. Like all diamonds are perfect in nature. And the way that they are made is that they are burned, towed up. They're roughed up first in order to make smooth. And again, I don't want to minimize anyone's struggles. The faith that is built in us over time when we use adversity as a tool for growth and as a tool for healing, that is eternal. That can never be taken away. That is only gold. That is only something to be cherished. That strength from growing through adversity. Our troubles are light and momentary compared to the faith that's being built up in us, right? And in my ritual class, I told you guys to, from this energy of like low vibration, shame, guilt, defeat, moving from our faithful energy, like fear to faith. Faith is unseen. Faith comes from within. That's why I had to call on my guides. I had to call on God. Like, sometimes I don't see the plan. And I'm a Virgo. I get very anxious when there's no plan, when there's like, I need direction, I need structure, I need systems. What is unseen is eternal. And what is seen is temporary. If you believe in energy, you believe that you are the creator of energy. And the universe mimics and responds to our energy. So the more faith that we build in this troublesome world, the more that the universe will mimic that energy and to give us opportunities for that energy to come through. And I know it's challenging, and I'm so sorry because it does not feel light and momentary in those moments. Bigger picture, it might be light and momentary, but in the moment, you might have been going through something for an extremely long time. I challenge us to continue to call on Jesus's name for faith when we have none, to connect with Jesus and our other guides and our ancestors for renewal when we need it, and to put that in our toolbox. I feel like I have too many tools, and it's great because not everything works at the time when you need it to. Let's say you have a screwdriver, and the screwdriver is meditation, and you're having trouble, and you pull up that screwdriver. It's not going to be an instant fix sometimes. Sometimes meditation does not work right away, especially if you don't do it for long periods of time and or you have a lot built up. You have to meditate for a long time to be able to move that energy. So technically the screwdriver ain't going to work for you in that moment, right? Let's say you have a hammer, and the hammer is prayer. It takes a few knocks on the hammer to be able to get the nail in. Use prayer as your tool and don't cease to pray or to knock when you need to get the nail in. Like, don't give up. Don't give up your faith, and utilize every tool in your arsenal, not just one thing. Use good sleep, use good eating habits, use the Mother Nature and fresh air and grounding, meditation and movement and all the things, okay? I feel like that was the word right there. I pray that you're all feeling perseverant, like you can endure what lies ahead of us. And I trust that faith is one of our most powerful tools, and so is love. Step into love. Ask God, Gaia, Mother, Jesus to open you up to love. More love, more love, more faith, more perseverance, more strength, because that reward is eternal. And the struggle is light and momentary compared to that. Sincere love and joy to you all.